In a city where trust is broken with a glance and loyalty is buried 6 feet deep, survival isn't a choice, it's the only game left to play. The screen fades in from black. Chicago's skyline glimmers in the distance, not in celebration, but like a warning. The sound of faint sirens drifts across the night. They echo like ghosts of the past, fading and returning as if the city itself is restless. The streets are wet, shimmering under streetlights, reflecting flashes of red and blue. As though danger is always close, always waiting, a silhouette moves slowly through the shadows. We don't see a face, only a figure cutting through the darkness with sharp intent. The camera lingers on the edges of this figure, the white smoke of his breath in the cold air, the glint of a chain around his neck, the faint light hitting the barrel of a gun at his side. He doesn't run, he doesn't hide. He just moves. Forward, each step heavier than the last. Each echo bouncing like a countdown, a voice cuts through the stillness, gravelly, determined, unforgiving. In this city, survival comes with a price. The music swells, a low, pulsing bass, like a heartbeat, slow at first, then building. Shadows flicker against walls, graffiti tags of fallen crews. Broken windows covered with plywood, the scars of wars that never ended. A car passes by with tinted windows, slowing just enough to remind us that danger can come from anywhere. The tension is not in the action but in the silence, the waiting, the knowing. The figure lights a cigarette. The flame bursts briefly, illuminating just enough to remind us who he is. Tommy Egan, Chicago's storm in human form. He takes a drag, the smoke curling like questions we'll never get answers to. His eyes, hidden by shadows, scan the streets. He doesn't trust them. He doesn't trust anyone. Quick flashes strike the screen. A gun chamber spins, loading one bullet after another. A wad of cash exchanged in a dark basement. A hand gripping a steering wheel so tight the veins pop. A warehouse door slowly creaking open, light spilling onto empty crates. The voice returns, colder this time, almost whispering. Every deal comes with a risk. Every ally comes with a knife. The visuals grow faster. The city seems alive, cars weaving in and out like predators. Neon signs buzzing as if they too are unsettled. A train rattling past overhead carrying secrets through the night. The figure of Tommy moves closer, the camera tight on his boots. Splashing through puddles, the echo of every step sinking with the rising beat, then a sudden cut to silence. The screen goes black. Only a single sound remains, the click of a gun being cocked, and in the end, someone always pays. The words hang, suspended in the darkness. Then the bass returns, louder, stronger, almost shaking through the speakers. The tension has been set. The rules are clear. The streets are merciless. And survival has never been more expensive. Asterisk. The silence doesn't last long. A beat breaks through low, steady, like the rhythm of a war drum. The city wakes, but it doesn't wake in peace. It wakes hungry. It wakes violent. A car window rolls down in slow motion. A hand slips out, holding a pistol. The chrome glints beneath a passing streetlight, and then the window slides back up. We never see the face, we don't need to. The message is clear. In Chicago, you're being watched even when you think you're alone. The screen cuts to a table in a dimly lit back room. Cash stacks sit neatly, too neatly, like bait waiting for the trap. Hands reach forward, grabbing, counting, moving fast, each hand different, none belonging to someone we see in full. Shadows are enough. The sound of bills snapping against. The table fills the room, followed by the scrape of a chair being dragged. The chair topples, loud, violent, as if a deal has just gone wrong. A voice returns, steady, grim, sharp with truth. Loyalty is tested, enemies multiply, and every choice leaves blood on the streets. The visuals tighten their grip. A hooded figure rushes through an alley, clutching a bag close to their chest. Another hand wipes blood from a blade, calm, deliberate. Blue and red police lights flare against a cracked brick wall, turning everything into a sickening blur of justice and chaos. A gunshot rings out, but we never see who falls. The city itself feels alive now. It hisses in the sound of steam rising from a manhole, growls in the rumble of a train overhead, whispers in the rustling of wind. Pushing through empty lots, Every corner is a question. Every shadow is a suspect. A family photo appears on screen lying on a kitchen counter. The edges are burned, curling, eaten away by flames. A child's smile fades into ash. The fire spreads across the wood, swallowing everything until nothing is left but black smoke. The screen lingers long enough to make the loss feel permanent. The music grows faster, snare drums snapping like distant gunfire. The voice deepens, heavier, like it's carrying the weight of the entire city. Tommy knows one rule: trust no one. A quick succession of flashes explodes across the screen, a black SUV crashing into a smaller car. A pair of hands tightening around another's throat. A brick wall sprayed with fresh blood. A cell phone buzzing unanswered on the floor. The screen cracked. The pacing grows frantic. Breaths are heard now, short, sharp, desperate. Somewhere, someone runs. Somewhere else, someone screams, but we don't see them. The facelessness makes the terror universal. It could be anyone. It could be everyone. Then everything cuts. Silence again. Tommy's figure reappears, standing at the edge of a street corner, cigarette glowing in the dark. He stares out at the chaos we've only glimpsed. His face is still hidden, swallowed by shadow, but his stance tells us everything: defiance, hunger. The calm before another storm. The voice delivers the line with a chilling edge. This season, survival won't be given. It'll be stolen. The music roars back, louder than ever, like a wave crashing into the shore. Images spin out and rapid-fire doors kicked in, fists pounding tables, weapons drawn, sirens screaming, tires screeching. The pulse of the city is chaos now, uncontainable, uncontrollable. And just as it feels unbearable, the screen blacks out again. One sound breaks the silence. The hollow click of a revolver spinning. The beat doesn't ease. It slams harder, faster, like a heart about to burst. The screen flashes white, then fades into a blur of headlights cutting through rain. A car screeches across an empty street, tires spinning, smoke curling behind like ghosts. We don't see the driver, only the desperate hands strangling the wheel, knuckles white. Veins pulsing, the screen cuts sudden, sharp. A steel door is kicked open with brutal force. Dust explodes into the air. The camera follows the splintered wood falling in slow motion, the echo of the door slam stretching like thunder. Beyond the frame, shadows rush in. Faceless figures storming a room that never feels safe. Gunshots, not shown directly. Only heard quick bursts, sharp cracks that slice through silence like blades. The flashes light up the dark, strobing the scene in fragments, a stack of money exploding into the air. A chair toppling backward, with blood dripping onto concrete. The pieces are shown, but never whole. The audience builds the picture in their mind, and that picture is worse than any clear shot. The voice breaks through again. Heavy, relentless, like a hammer striking iron. Every choice comes back to you. Every sin demands its price. The music surges into a pounding rhythm. The visuals accelerate. A faceless figure runs across a rooftop, chased by shadows. The skyline burns behind them with flashing lights and glowing fire. A hand grips a chain tightly, swinging it like a weapon. A car engine roars, a black SUV smashing through a barricade of boxes. A scream echoes, cut short by the slam of a door. The editing sharpens like a knife. Each image hits quicker than the last, each shot carving out fear, anger, revenge. We cut to a slow-motion scene, a gun being raised. The barrel aims directly at the camera, unflinching, steady. The silence around it feels endless. Then bang. The screen whites out, but instead of sound, there's silence. In that silence, the voice returns, whispering. Survival has a price, and this time, no one leaves untouched. The silence shatters, explosions of chaos fill the screen again. A car spins, flipping through the air. A pool of blood spreads across the floor, glimmering like oil under. A single dangling light bulb. Two faceless figures slam into each other in a brutal fight, fists flying, bodies crashing against walls. Another figure slams open a briefcase inside, stacks of cash. But each bundle is stained red. The rhythm of the montage becomes almost unbearable. The sound of a pounding heartbeat takes over the audio. Every image lands on that beat. Faster, Louder, heavier dot, we see Tommy's silhouette again, standing alone on a rooftop. The city stretches beneath him, cold, alive, merciless. His coat whips in the wind, his cigarette ember glowing like a warning signal in the dark. The camera moves closer, closer, but never reveals his face. The final montage bursts through like an avalanche, hands slamming against prison bars. Glass shattering as a figure dives through. Sirens wailing louder and louder. A knife spinning across a floor, stopping at a boot. Blood splattering onto stacks of money. The bass peaks. The sound drowns everything. And then black screen, a single sound cuts the dark, a gun being cocked. The voice whispers, harsh, final. The screen is still black. Silence presses in, thick and heavy, then footsteps, slow, deliberate. Each step rings louder than the last, echoing like a drum in an empty cathedral. The sound builds tension until it feels unbearable, as if every step is walking closer to us. Out of the dark, a single match strikes. The flare cuts across the frame, small but violent, spilling orange light onto a trembling hand. The flame hisses against the air, fragile but defiant. It hovers just long enough to reveal a pile of cash drenched in gasoline. The hand lets the match fall. The screen explodes in fire. Stacks of bills curl and blacken, the flames devouring them with no mercy. The fire spreads across the table, crawling up the walls, painting the room in furious light. In the glow, we see shadows, moving faces. Still hidden, but their outlines clear. Guns raised, knives drawn. Eyes locked in unspoken war. The voice cuts through, calm but lethal. No one leaves clean. No one leaves whole. You pay or you burn. The fire grows, swallowing everything. Sparks shoot into the air. The heat feels alive, like it wants to consume the audience too. The montage slams back in faster than before. Relentless. A door slams shut with a metallic clang, locking someone inside. A faceless figure slams a fist into a mirror, shards raining down like glass raindrops. A car races down a bridge, headlights slicing through fog. Blood drips steadily onto white tile, 1 drop, 2, 3. A gun slides across the floor toward a hand reaching desperately for it. The beat grows harsher, turning into a relentless pounding rhythm. A storm of visuals bursts across the screen, hands shaking as they count blood-stained money. Bag being zipped shut around a body. The outline of Tommy, standing at the center of it all, never flinching, never moving back. The camera pulls closer to him, tighter and tighter. We see the cigarette ember glow. We hear his breath, steady, fearless. The city lights burn behind him like a battlefield on fire. He doesn't speak. He doesn't need to. His silence is louder than words. Then the music drops out completely. We hear only a whisper, cold, ruthless, final. Survival has a price. And this season everyone pays. The screen cuts to black. A metallic slam echoes like a prison door closing. Then in bold silver letters, the title punches onto the screen with force. Powerbook IV. Force Season 3. The text trembles slightly, as if it carries the weight of the entire city. Beneath, blood-red words fade in slowly, one at a time. Survival has a price. The music returns for one final hit, deep, booming, like the sound of a war drum that will never stop. The last image appears, a city skyline burning in silhouette. The fire glows bright against the night sky, and then darkness swallows it whole. The release card slams onto screen, coming fall 2025. Final sound, the hollow snap of a gun hammer pulling back. Then silence, fade out.